time for Beef of the Week.
Oh, here we go.
Or in Norwegian, Ukens Biff, where we get on our soapbox, say what's grinding our gears, and whatever other metaphors you can think up for complain. This week, Kurt's got something to say
here we go.
about concurrent player counts. Kurt,
Hi.
quit burping. What you got?
I'm just,
He was just sat there going,
I'm just sitting here. I've had too much beef this week. Okay, so this kind of, oh my God. All right, so this is a thing that I'm like in the midst of trying to articulate my feelings for.
Okay.
Like I have a feeling, like a thing where it's like something doesn't sit right in my brain and I like get aggravated and then I have to spend time articulating that thing. But the thing I want to talk about is concurrent players.
concurrent player count.
And how we, as a community, I want
gamers.
to talk about all of us as gamers.
We're all in trouble.
Games as a medium have always existed in a very bizarre place because they teeter technology. They also teeter in like a post sort of like capitalistic media world where like in the 80s is when Hollywood turned into commercializing movies. So it's like at the turn of the 1980s, basically because of Star Wars. If there's anything I would blame, it's Star Wars. Movies started becoming vessels to basically make toys and lunchboxes and t-shirts and all this stuff. That's why you still have people to this day obsessed with Back to the Future and Ghostbusters and all this crap. It all started in the 80s. Anyways,
Shout out to Kenna.
yeah. So I want to give that context because video games started to come to rise really commercially and publicly in the 80s with arcades and all that jazz. And but like there's this weird teeter where it's like games have always kind of struggled to be seen as art.
Yep.
Because they're often seen as a plaything.
Yep.
As a thing to pass time. But then that's foolish because it is a medium that involves lots of artistic prowess and thinking and storytelling. However, in our current state of things,
Community.
in our current state of the community, I would say in gaming, I have another analogy I'm trying to work on.
Okay.
That video games as an industry is back in the arcade era, where games are focused more on trying to get you to play as long as possible, aka pump quarters in.
Yep.
But because money is no longer that much like a way in which you engage with games, the games are just being designed to keep you there to play Ball Pit,
Attention economy.
Vampire Survivors, Balatro.
They also said,
Mega
who was
Bar.
it this week? Nadella said that Xbox's, any gaming company's competitor is not other games.
It's TikTok.
It is TikTok, which he's getting a lot of shit for that, but I
don't disagree with him. Like in most cases, when you're waiting for a load screen or like when your game is
just have
started
a
up,
little scroll.
open your phone.
Just have a little scroll.
Talk time. Anyways, I think that's all important context because I think basically what I'm trying to say is the way in which like we as people see games is different and twisted and multifaceted because some people will play games for story. Some people will play games for a friendly hangout.
Yep.
Some people play it to have their brain engaged on their own. And because of that, I also think games in their nature are competitive. If you're not competing with other people, you're competing with the game and sometimes yourself at a high score. I'm so sorry about the soapbox. I'm getting there.
No, this is why we have Ukens Biff.
Ukens Biff. Anyways, with that in mind, I feel like we have created because games are in their nature complicated, multifaceted, and go in many different directions, but also competitive. The people who play games are naturally competitive in how they view their games.
And how successful those games are.
The console wars.
And also, more recently, now that the console wars, I guess, don't matter because we don't have Xbox exclusives anymore, and PlayStation is on PC. Only Nintendo really has
the
their own
only one.
exclusives. What is a way to compare yourself against others?
Player count.
Steam. That's the thing.
Steam concurrent players. Steam. That's a very important point. So a lot of this kind of bubbled up in my rage recently when I think it was this week or last week or something when it was like Keeper, Double Fine's most recent game, didn't break 200 concurrent players
On
Steam. A game that was released also on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. But even remove those statistics aside, I don't seeing people have like a reaction or even say like why that was an important enough thing to mention that this new game, this Gamekeeper doesn't have.
And being gleeful about it.
Yes. It's like, see, it didn't, no one's playing it. there's a lot of variables I can go into. One, that game is like, I beat that game in 3 hours and 50 minutes. Some people play it but like ultimately it's like 4 to 5 hours. And to like, even on that level where it's like you're judging a game that most people will be playing for a few hours. And that's how the game is meant to be seen. And the likelihood of getting more than 200 people at the exact same time playing that game for just a couple of hours, the game that ends that they will not return to, is just an asinine thing to just be like, look at that. But it also brings up the other thing where it's like, why is this a rating for a game like Keeper that is ultimately
Getting 9s across the board.
an interactive piece of art? And like, that is the thing that like makes my blood boil. And I want to try and figure out a better way. This is why I'm doing this right now, to try and articulate and hopefully encourage others to just think about your reactions when you see said thing, when you decide, when you feel some sort of like gleeful hope that said game you don't like or don't care about doesn't have X amount of players on it, to think about the game that thing is, the people who are playing it, and what you enjoy, and just enjoy what you enjoy. And also like learn to appreciate things as they are, pieces of art, or just a thing you like to play with your friends. Anyways, that's my beef of the week.
That was a real good Ukens beef.
It was a very like,
Ukens beef.
I really appreciate it.
It was great.
Thanks.
Hopefully.
Have a
lot to
think.
think
Have a
about.
think.
A lot to chew on.
Yeah, chew on that beef. I'm tired of burping through this.
That was a clip from an episode of Kurt and Lucy Got You Covered, our new variety show where we go through all the biggest gaming topics of the week via these letters in a random order.
We don't know what's going to be in there,
But we do know what we're talking about.
but we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So make sure to watch the full episode on youtube.com/GameSpot or listen to the podcast version on your podcast platform of choice. Email us your questions to gotchacovered@gamespot.com, and we'll see you Saturdays on GameSpot.
Thank you. See ya.